Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. What a busy transfer window that was. Absolutely incredible. In total, we actually made 50 plus deals. Yep, 50 plus deals, almost close to 60 deals that took place in terms of incomings, outgoings, new contracts, new academy players that you guys have been asking about, players who've been released. It was a very, very busy transfer window. Big shout out to Andrea Bat and everyone else who took part in this, Mikel Arteta, Tim Lewis, Marta, everyone. Like, it was a very, very busy transfer window. So we'll talk about everything that happened during this transfer window. I'm sure there's a couple of deals here that you don't know about. Literally, if you don't learn anything new in this video, you don't have to like this video. But if you learn something new in this video, make sure to hit the like button. We were getting deals done. We were getting here we goes before the transfer window opened. I remember we got a Zubimendi here we go before the transfer window opened. Deals were happening after the transfer window closed as well. Zinchenko came out of nowhere literally after midnight, after the transfer window already being closed. So it was a busy one. So let's get through it. And let's start with the players who've joined Arsenal. So I'll be giving you guys all the details in terms of money and all that. So let's get through it. So Kepa Arrizabalaga was the first player to join us. He joined us for £5 million from Chelsea. He had a release clause of £5 million. We paid that. We needed a backup goalkeeper. At the beginning, we were being linked with the players like Juan Garcia from Espanyol, but I didn't feel like it was worth it buying a player for 20 million, a backup goalkeeper for 25 million. And Kepa, Premier League experience, has played for Bournemouth, he's played for Chelsea before, he's played for Real Madrid a couple of seasons ago. A very, very good backup goalkeeper. We've already seen him in pre-season. I think that was a good deal to make for only 5 million. I think it's going to be good for us. Martin Zubimendi, he joined us for 55.8 million, another Spanish player just like Kepa. This one, we've wanted to do it for a long time. Liverpool wanted him. Real Madrid wanted him. Real Madrid tried to hijack him. Arsenal had to, increase the money from the original release clause that he had in his contract, around 51, 52 million. We had to increase that so that we could pay it in installments. The details for the installments are not quite clear, but I think it's like 2 years, if I'm not wrong. So we are going to pay his money in installments, Martin Zubimendi. And so far, it's been good. Literally, at the time of recording this, he's just provided an assist for his country. It's very good. He's going to do that as well for us whenever, Gyökeres makes those runs. I'm sure Zubimendi will get a couple of assists. And I'm sure in midfield, yes, there's going to be a couple of games where he struggled, but there's going to be many more games where he performs very, very well. And considering those teams that wanted him, very, very good signing for me. 55.8 million, I think, is definitely going to be a hit. Another midfielder we signed was Christian Nogard. Now, we haven't seen him playing in the Premier League yet, but I am sure he's going to be very good as well. This particular deal, from what you're hearing, it came from Andrea Bata. After Thomas Partey left, after Jorginho left, Andrea Bata wanted us to get a Premier League experienced midfielder. So we decided to go for Christian Nogard. He was very happy when he joined Arsenal. If you see his interviews, his welcome video, he was very happy to join Arsenal. I cannot wait to see how he does. And for 10 million plus 2 million in add-ons, I think that is a good deal. He got man of the match in one of the games in pre-season. He can control that midfield. He can play instead of Zubimendi. Sometimes he can play with Zubimendi. Let's wait and see what happens across the next couple of seasons. But Christian Nogard, very good signing for me for only 12 million in total package. Great. Noni Madueke joined us from Chelsea in a 48.5 million deal plus 3.5 million in add-ons. So a total package of 52 million pounds. I mean, he played a few games on the left wing for us, but recently he's been playing on the right side as backup to Saka, and Saka has been injured. So I'm sure we're going to see Madueke featuring in both of those wings. He looked good in those games so far. Obviously, his signing wasn't met by a lot of positivity, so hopefully he can prove us all wrong for 52 million pounds. Let's hope that he can be the backup that we need for Saka that we've been asking for a long time, and he can also feature on the left side a few times here and there when needed. So that was a signing that we made from Chelsea, the fourth signing of the transfer window. That was very closely and quite immediately followed by Christian Mosquera, who joined us from Valencia in a 13 million plus 3.5 million pound deal, total package of 16.5 million. For Christian Mosquera, at the beginning of the transfer window, when you first linked to him, Valencia were talking about more than 20 million. They even offered Christian Mosquera a new contract, but no, he did not want to sign the contract. He wanted to become an Arsenal player. And from what we've seen so far, after the Saliba injury against Liverpool, Mosquera fitting in that position very, very well. We've added another top defender. In terms of defensive signings, over the last 2-3 years, we've made some really top signings, and Christian Mosquera looks to be one of them. 13 million plus 3.5 million in add-ons. I'm sure he played in the under 21 Euros for Spain, and he did quite well there as well. So I'm excited to see how he features for us too. And 16.5 million in total package, great deal. The deal that we were all waiting for, literally the whole of the transfer window, was Victor Gyökeres. We finally got him from Sporting, 55 million pounds plus 8.7 million add-ons. That deal took a long time to get that 63.7 million total package done. There was problems with add-ons. Gyökeres kept pushing for the move. He paid his own money. His agent paid his own money to make sure that he joined Arsenal. And for me, considering I've always wanted Gyökeres since last season, he's the guy that I wanted last season ahead of when you were talking about Osimhen, Gyökeres, and Isaac. I wanted Gyökeres last season, and he went on to score another 60 plus goals this past season. I wanted him ahead of Sesko this year, and we finally got him. So far, he scored 2 goals. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to get 25 plus goals for us in all competitions. Very good striker. He's going to bring something that we've not had in a long time. We've not played the striker for a long time, and that signing is very exciting for me. I cannot wait to see how it does for us across the season. We finally have a striker, and it took a long time as well to convince Sporting to give us the player, but we finally did. And the signing that came out of nowhere was Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace. Didn't look like we were going to get him. The rest, like Gyökeres and Mosquera, looked like we were going to get them, but Eberechi Eze for some time looked like he was going to go to Tottenham, and then for some time it looked like he was going to come to us, and then we started hearing that you're not going to go for him anymore. And then after the Havertz injury, that's when we pushed even more for Eberechi Eze, and we got him for 60 million plus 7.5 million add-ons. That was after his release clause had expired. Especially after that release clause expired, people thought, okay, we're not going to go for him, but no, we actually went for him, and we got him for 67.5 million. 7.5 million will be in add-ons, and I think that is one of the best deals that we've ever done. So cannot wait for him to get started at the Emirates Stadium and to see how he does this season. He's probably going to start for us in the left wing, and he's going to play some games in the 10, some games in the 8 next to Odegaard. Very exciting that we have another creative outlet in our team. Definitely way better than what we had last season. The fact that we now have Eze, Madueke, and Gyökeres, that's definitely way better than what we had last season in terms of forward options. So those 8 signings, straight to the first team, the main team, obviously, and we made 4 more signings in terms of academy prospects. I'm sure you might know a couple of these, but for me, I had to do some research on them. You definitely will learn a thing or two about the deals that we've done for the academy as well. One to definitely watch out for is Damien Agustin, who's joined us from Derby County. Very, very good player. They're already calling him the next Nwaneri. He plays as an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a left winger, and very, very many teams wanted him, but he joined Arsenal, and definitely want to keep an eye on the way we've been, bringing products from the bringing hairline products to the team at a very young age recently. Dauman Nwaneri, don't be surprised to see this guy featuring for us, even 1-2 games on the bench next season. Very, very promising aspect. He's Dutch. He's from Netherlands. Versatile attacking midfielder is what they've said in the Arsenal article. He's a Curacao youth national team, but he does play for Netherlands. So I cannot wait to see him getting started as well. So one to keep an eye on in the under 21 team and the under 18 team, whichever that he plays for. We've also signed Callan Hamill from St. Johnstone. This is a right back. They say that he's a very, very attacking right back. He joined us from Scotland. So again, another player I cannot wait to see how he does for us. Scottish international. So let's see how he fits into the team. We've also signed another goalkeeper. That is Remy Lupinski from MK Dons. A few teams wanted him as well. He's been signed on a scholarship, a 2-year scholarship. He's 16 years of age. So they're saying he's a brave, proactive goalkeeper, technically good. So let's see how Matsaka develops him in the youth team. So that's another one that has joined us the academy team. And then we've signed this guy called Marcel Washington from Chelsea. Yes, we've actually signed a Chelsea player. And this one you probably don't know about. He's actually the son of Ryan Bertrand. Do you remember Ryan Bertrand, the former Chelsea player, the former Southampton player? Yep, this is his son. He's joined us from Chelsea. And another attacking player, just like Damien Augustine, want to keep an eye on for sure. They said his father won the Champions League at Chelsea. Will he do the same at us? So let's see how he develops first of all. But yeah, I want to keep an eye on as well. So those are the 12 players that joined us, on 11 players that joined us on a permanent deal. But there's obviously someone who joined us on a loan deal, and that is Piero Hincapie, who joined us on a loan deal very, very late in the transfer window, literally the final day. For him, it was a loan deal with an option to buy. They're calling it an obligation to buy next season as well. I think we will eventually buy him next season from Bayer Leverkusen. He's basically a replacement for Kiwior. We had to work a deal on how to get him on a loan deal. But if we want to buy him next season, we can buy him for 45 million pounds. So that is what you're going to be needed to pay next season. But as of now, it's just a loan deal for Piero Hincapie. Now, those are the players who've joined us, but a lot of players ended up leaving Arsenal. So let's start with the ones that, they were here on loan, but they ended up leaving because they didn't extend their loan. Sterling left for Chelsea, went back to Chelsea. Not the best of loan deals at Arsenal for sure. That's one that every Arsenal fan would want to forget. And Neto as well only featured in one game for us. He was cup-tied in the Carabao Cup, so didn't even play for us in that competition. In the FA Cup, he got Man United. We got knocked out in the first game, so he didn't really get any chance to play. So all the best to Neto and Sterling. They've moved back to their teams, and they've already been replaced. We've already gone to a different direction. Kepa's coming as our backup goalkeeper, and we've brought in players like Madueke as winger options to back up Saka and to also play on the left side. Now, new contracts. Gabriel Magalhaes signed a new contract, very, very big. Obviously, you need to keep your top players as well, and Gabriel is one of our top players. He extended his contract. This was one of the first deals to happen at the beginning of the transfer window, one that is very important, extended until 2029. Another player who extended his contract was Miles Lewis-Skelly. For him, he extended his contract up until 2030. He's kind of fast professional contract, so he's definitely going to be here for a long time. There was links to Real Madrid, but obviously ended up staying. Ethan Nwaneri, those links to Chelsea, but he signed a new contract until 2030, just like Miles Lewis-Skelly. Two players who were very, very big positives for us last season, and you expect them to have another big season this time around. So far, at the beginning of the season, they haven't really been starting games. Calafiori's comeback is playing really well on the left side. You'd expect Hincapie to play as well, but I'm sure Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri will play a big role in the team. Like, for example, you saw against Leeds when Odegaard got injured, Nwaneri is the one that came on. You're going to see a lot of that. Both players are very, very good. Leandro Trossard also signed a new contract, didn't extend in terms of the years, but added his money. We actually never got a confirmation of how much he extended to, but yes, he got a new contract in terms of finances, so he's going to get more than what he was getting. He was only on 90,000 per week, so let's see how much he's going to be on for when that is confirmed. Now, back to the players who've left us. Let's go with the ones who've left us on loan deals first, because there's the ones who've been released, there's the ones who have been sold, and there's the ones who've left on loan and they can be back, or if it works out, they should be back next season. I don't know. So let's start with Karl Hein. Karl Hein left Arsenal for Werder Bremen. He's gone on loan there. I thought we were going to sell him. I was very surprised when I heard that it's going to be a loan deal. I thought we were definitely going to be selling him, but it's a loan deal. Maybe they could buy him. I don't know when his contract is expiring, but maybe they could buy him next season if he still has some time on his contract. But if not, then after that, I don't think he's going to be an Arsenal player for too much longer. Either he moves to Werder Bremen or moves to a different team. One that we knew was going to happen, but it took quite some time to happen, was Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira and Lokonga is different. They've gone to the same team, so I've included them there on this on the same graphic. Lokonga has been sold to Hamburg. We'll talk about him, but Fabio Vieira has moved on that on a loan deal. But there's an option there to buy. So if they want to buy him, it's going to cost them 17, not 70. I wish 17.3 million to buy Fabio Vieira from Arsenal. Hopefully, he goes there and he smashes it, and he can join them on a permanent deal after next season. Zinchenko's deal came out of nowhere. He's gone to Nottingham Forest on a loan deal. There's not even actual pictures of him in a Nottingham Forest shirt because he had already gone for international duty. I don't even know how they did it with the medical, because the time they announced him, he had already gone and joined up with the Ukrainian side. So I don't even know if they did a medical. But hey, Zinchenko, it looked like he was going to stay, but there was a bit of, talk about him and not getting any game time after signing Hincapie. And there's Lewis Kelly, there's Calafiori, there's Timbo can play there. I don't think Zinchenko is going to be getting any much game time. His contract is expiring next year, so I don't think you're going to make any money for Zinchenko. Next year, he's free to move on to whichever team he wants. Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson moved to Brentford. He was linked to Fulham, to Crystal Palace. I think we were offered 15 million by Crystal Palace, but he didn't want to go there. He moved on to Brentford on loan. Again, there's an option there to buy, but I don't know if they're going to buy him. He has to obviously perform there. There's a World Cup next day. If he shines, you never know. Maybe Tuchel can take him, but he has to be really, really good for Brentford. There's a gap there, obviously, in their squad. They've sold a few players, and the manager's changed. So let's see how Reiss Nelson does over at Brentford. He's not the only one as well. Jakub Kiwior also left on deadline day to join. This deal was basically linked to the Hincapie one as well. This one is a loan with kind of an obligation to buy, so FC Porto will probably buy him next year. He talked about how sad he is to leave Arsenal. There's a short interview he did and said, he actually had it from Fabrizio as well. Big shout out to Fabrizio. This guy Kiwior said that he actually had it from Fabrizio, that hey, here we go to FC Porto. He was like, oh really, I'm going to FC Porto. So he said he went back and told everyone goodbye. Not everyone was there. For me, I really wanted him to stay, but especially because it's a loan deal, we're only going to get money next year. The money that we're going to get from FC Porto is £14.7 million plus 4.3 million in add-ons, so a total package of 19 million. And then if FC Porto ever sell him, we are going to receive an extra 1.7 million pounds. So a deal like around 20 million pounds, not that bad. I wanted more for Kiwior, an international player. I was looking for even 35 million. Actually, I say not bad, but I really wanted like 35 million for an international player like this, who can play several positions. But all the best to Jakub Kiwior for the future for sure. Now, Albert Sambi Lokonga left. It's not clear how much is gone for. There's rumors about 10 million. There's rumors about 2 million. So that's a big difference. Are we getting 2 million? Are we getting 10 million? But Lokonga's left on a permanent deal. He's now moved on to Hamburg, the same team as Fabio Vieira. That was a long time coming. Now, a couple of other players who've left on loan, a couple of youngsters that you've seen in the match day squad a few times. One of them is Ismail Kabia. We've definitely seen him in the team a few times. He's gone to Shrewsbury on loan. He's a winger. He's a forward player who plays in the wings. So he's gone to League Two to join Shrewsbury on a loan deal. So all the best to him there. And then Lucas Negard is a goalkeeper. He's moved to Denmark, his home country, on loan, the second division, to a team called Brabrand over there. So all the best, the two of them, the two academy players who've gone on loan. Now, the rest of the players we're going to talk about are the in terms of outgoings, the players who've been released or contracts ended. But first, let's talk about the money that we're receiving from players that we let go of last year and the last couple of years. One of them is Marquinhos. Marquinhos moved on to Cruzeiro. He moved on to Cruzeiro last season, or just before last season. We've now sold him on a permanent deal. He's no longer an Arsenal player. We are receiving £3 million for Marquinhos from Cruzeiro. So all the best to him there. Nuno Tavares, he moved on loan to Lazio, but we always knew that was going to be a permanent deal. We're actually receiving a bit of money for this, 7.6 million, almost the same that we bought him for. So you're not really making too much of a loss there. And we are receiving, according to this article that I'm reading is 2.6 million for Albert Sambi Lokonga, but the Sun reported that it's going to be close to 10 million. So who knows? So that is the money that we are receiving this transfer window from these players who left previously. But yeah, all the best to them. Now, players who've been released by Arsenal. Let's start with Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney moved to Celtic. That was the end of his contract. All the best to him over there. Thomas Partey moved on to Villarreal after the end of his contract as well. Another player who featured a lot for us for the last 5 years, but he's now moved on to Villarreal. Another player who was released was Tomiyasu. This one came out of nowhere. I did not think Tomiyasu was going to be released, but yes, that happened. He had a lot of injury problems at Arsenal, so hopefully he does recover and he can recover his career. He's still not that old, Let me check how old Tomiyasu is. Can I get it? Tomiyasu. How old is Tomiyasu? I'm trying to figure it out. Let's see. I've heard that AC Milan and Inter Milan want him, by the way. He's 26 years of age, so he's nowhere near his prime yet. So all the best to him. Jorginho left Arsenal as well. He moved on to Brazil too, to Flamengo. We actually watched him during the Club World Cup. So all the best to him as well over in Brazil. So a lot of changes in terms of our midfield. 2-3 players who used to feature there have moved on. Now, those are not the only players who've moved on from Arsenal. There's so many others who've also moved on, including Nathan Butler Oyedeji, who moved on to Lausanne Sports. And by the way, is it Lausanne Sports? Let me just confirm that. I'm doing some of this from the top of my head as well. I'm trying to remember them as well. So this guy, what I know is that he has actually scored a goal against Besiktas, and he's taken his team to the Conference League already. So he's already helped his team in terms of qualifying for the Conference League. So all the best to him. We saw him on the bench a lot last season, but yeah, he wasn't really going to feature for us a lot. Now, two brothers have left Arsenal. These guys you've definitely heard of, Salah and Ismail Olad. Both of them have been released by the Arsenal Academy. It looked like he's going to really feature much for the Arsenal first team, the one on the right, Salah, but never really worked out for him. And both of them have been let go. And at the moment, they don't really have any teams. Keyon Edwards moved to Estoril, end of his contract. Jimmy Goa, we saw him on the bench a few times as well. He's moved to Portugal, end of his contract as well. Jack Henry Francis, we also saw him in the team a couple of times, has moved on to Shelbourne, that is in Ireland, end of his contract too. Max moved on to Charlton, not Max Daumann, Max Kuczynski, end of his contract as well. Elian also moved on, end of his contract. Roziak, another player we saw in the team a couple of times, moved on. That is a Polish team, end of his contract too. Zakaria Shoaib moved on to Real Sociedad. Brian Okonkwo, the goalkeeper you guys have heard about, obviously released. Rhys Clement released. The academy have released a lot of players. Romari Ford released as well. Jacquet Fisher released as well. And then, as I've said, Salah and his brother both released. So those are the academy players who've moved on to different teams. So it's only two who've moved on loan. That is Kabia and also Negad, but the most of them have moved on have been released or end of their contracts, and they're going to move on to different teams. So it was a very, very busy transfer window for Arsenal, both in terms of the senior team and the academy team, in terms of incomings, outgoings, new contracts signed. Also in terms of the academy, there's a few players who signed new contracts, like William Sweet, you've also seen a couple of times in the team. Jack Potter, the goalkeeper, signed his first professional contract with Arsenal. Louis Copley signed a new contract as well. Cameron Ismail and many others signed a new contract, including Andre Harriman Anus, who we saw on the bench. I think he featured once during preseason for us. He's also signed a new contract. So busy transfer window for Arsenal. Busiest that we've ever had. I mean, I can also add this. One of our assistant managers left in Carlos Cuesta, and we replaced him with Gabriel Heinz. So that is another change that we made in the team in terms of the coaching setup. So busy this one. So I'm hoping I didn't miss anyone. I'm hoping I talked about everyone. There was so much. There's literally 50 deals to talk about. So that is all that happened this transfer window. Let's see if you're going to match that next summer. There's still a few players who you'd expect to leave next summer. Obviously, there's always changes in the academy. Keep an eye on those academy players I've just told you about: Damien Augustine, Marcel Washington, and also Callan Hamill. Remy Lipinski is a goalkeeper, so let's see how it does. But this is the one that is exciting people: Damien Augustine. And obviously, let's hope that the senior players also have an impact, because we are trying to win trophies, and players like Ez and Yokres are going to be very, very important. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you learned anything new. Thank you for watching. If you're still watching up until the end, I appreciate it. And I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.